in calling that action, we advised that our members would be taking strike action. We also advised that our members would be going into the workplace to make safe the plan and to stop the machinery, because there are issues
so you told them in advance?
We told them in advance, and this is kind of the missing link here in terms of we advised them that those machines would be stopped because our members we assessed the water supply to Gibraltar, and we were satisfied that there was no immediate threat to Gibraltar in terms of water supply. We also took the view that actually if those machines were left running without the personnel there to maintain them, that could have resulted in potential damage. So again, we felt that it was a responsible thing to stop those machines. What the employer or government could have done was just pick up the phone to me and said, could you ask your members not to stop the machinery? Or management could have been on site on Friday morning and said to the guys, please don't stop the machines, by all means walk out, but leave the machines running. So they were aware of this, and clearly now we're being told that actually that wasn't the case when it was. And my letter is explicit on this point, so there is no ambiguity on this point whatsoever. And clearly, given the Civil Contingencies jamboree that we saw on Friday, clearly it demonstrates that these are critical workers. Now, they understand the job that they do. They understand that there were stocks and there were supplies. That very same osmosis plant was offline the previous week for maintenance. So we do have circumstances where we have a situation where that plant is not operational, and there are also contingencies in terms of water supply from the MOD. It was an overreaction from our perspective. There was the opportunity to try and resolve these things through negotiations, and clearly there is a level of flexing of muscles here and sabre rattling in terms of convening that Civil Contingencies Committee. If you look at the Civil Contingencies Act, it talks about the disruption to water supply, as well as energy, money, health, transport, and so on and so forth. But it talks about there being a serious threat to damage to human life in Gibraltar. And I can't square that a water supply for 4 or 5 days, when we walk out, demonstrates that immediate and serious threat to human life in Gibraltar. Like I say, we considered the situation, we considered the impact, and we wouldn't put anybody at risk. We had a specific conversation to ensure that there would be no disruption to St Bernard's, to the care agency, to ERS, to making sure that there was no danger to people that were vulnerable. So again, the government and the employer could have sat back around the table before invoking the civil contingency side of things. So, we had to be clear on that. And this is a threat. This is a threat to the ability to take strike action. It's a threat to the ability of people to defend their terms and conditions and to actually improve their terms and conditions through industrial action. Where we are currently is we're currently ongoing talks with the employer. We have a sticking point at the moment where the employer are insisting upon taking disciplinary action against our members for embarking on legal industrial action, and no one has rebuffed or rebuked my repeated claims that this is legal industrial action, and the reason they haven't is because it's legal and they can't say otherwise, and yet they are still proposing to discipline our members, and that's causing a bit of a logjam in relation to the wider dispute.
I mean, there was a time when we were having up to 3 and 4 claims a week, and each claim comes with the caveat that if you don't reply within a certain amount of days, they will ballot the members for industrial action. Unite, in my opinion, played its cards all wrong. Unite had a plethora of actions that they could have taken. The one they took was the one that put public safety at risk. But what we can't have, again, is the peppering of claims all over the place, continuously, with threats attached of industrial action, because that it does not help, and that I think is a disservice to the members, because at some point the default setting has to be no.
Well, Unite's view was that there was no immediate threat.
Yeah. What if there would have been a fire? Would have been anything could have happened, and we're running our stocks down without replenishing them.
Yeah.